This looks like front-end development. It behaves like something else entirely. Most digital signage tools assume you want templates. WallRun assumes you want control. If you've ever looked at a screen on a wall and thought, this should just be a React app, this is where that idea starts to work. WallRun is a developer-first framework for building digital signage using modern web tooling. React, Tailwind, component systems, all the things you already use. But it is not a CMS. There are no playlists, no drag and drop layouts, no publish button. You are building software. It just happens to run on a screen instead of in a browser tab. And that shift matters. Because the moment your code leaves the browser and lands on a physical screen, the rules change. You are not building for interaction. You are building for attention. No sessions, no clicks, no onboarding flow. Just a screen competing with everything else in the room. That changes how you think about layout, hierarchy, motion, and timing. Now, before we get into setup, one important point. WallRun is designed primarily around VS Code, not just as an editor, but as part of the system. The repo includes Copilot instructions, custom agents, prompts, and workflows that shape how you build. So when you are working in VS Code, you are not just writing code. You are working inside a structured environment that helps you build signage properly. Could you use another editor? Yes, but you would be opting out of a lot of what makes this setup actually useful. So for this video, we are using VS Code. Right, let's get it running. To get started locally, you do not need anything exotic. You need Node.js, pnpm, Git, and VS Code. And if you want to deploy to real hardware later, a BrightSign player on your network. That is it. From there, the setup is straightforward. Clone the repository, install the dependencies, start the client, and within a couple of minutes, you have a local WallRun environment up and running. What you get is not just an app, it is a workspace. You have example screens, layouts, and a set of components designed specifically for signage. This is where the mental model starts to shift. You stop thinking in pages. You start thinking in compositions. If you want to understand that properly, the next step is Storybook. This is where things really click, because these are not generic UI components. They are designed for distance readability, fixed aspect ratios, and controlled layouts. This is not responsive design. It is deliberate composition, large type, clear hierarchy, predictable structure, all the things that matter when your user is 10 feet away and not particularly interested. Now, if you do have a BrightSign player on your network, this is where it gets interesting. You can discover players, register a target, and deploy directly from React app to physical screen. No manual packaging, no strange intermediate steps, just software deployed to hardware. One thing I would strongly recommend at this point is forking the repository. WallRun is currently in alpha, which means it is going to evolve. Forking gives you a stable base to work from, while still allowing you to pull in changes from upstream when you want them. It also lets you adapt the tooling, the workflows, and the conventions to your own setup. And once you start deploying to real screens, having control over your own pipeline and configuration just makes life easier. If you are just exploring, cloning is fine, but if you are planning to build something real, forking is the better move. So the getting started flow is simple. Clone or fork the repo, install dependencies, run the client, explore the components, then move to hardware when you are ready. And that is the point where this stops feeling like a website and starts feeling like software that lives on a wall. If you are a front-end developer and this space interests you, I am building tools and examples around it. You can find everything at wallrun.dev. Link is in the description.